concentrate on breathing and let your thoughts fall like water to the floor. When you put a name to what you're seeing, know that it's all just the trick of the light.
Hey guys, I'm Katie, and this is our home. Come on in. We decided to build the bus. At the time, we're living out west. A lot of our friends and family were back on the East Coast. We were finding ourselves feeling torn between the East and West Coast. We kind of started talking about where we wanted to be, and then Sam brought up this idea of, well, when we decide to move somewhere, keeping climate change in mind, where is it safe, basically?
And most of the places that we want to live aren't super safe, at least in terms of
natural disasters,
long-term investment and where you want to, really put down roots. And I used to live in Charleston, South Carolina, and every year the hurricanes were getting worse there. Then we're on the West Coast and there's wildfires out there.
So we were like, how can we create like this cozy home for ourselves where we can park it on some land or bring it to a friend's spot in the event that there is a forest fire or a catastrophic hurricane? Can we just pull our home away and bring it somewhere safe? So yeah, like why wouldn't we have a home that we could just bring with us?
While we were living out in Seattle, our friends Justin and Val and Nova came to visit us in their big school bus. Spent basically the entire month of August just exploring around the Pacific Northwest with them. And so that kind of introduced us to the idea. We also began to learn a lot, more than we ever thought we would know, about buses. We knew we wanted something that was less than 35 feet. We wanted a rear engine. We even knew, what kind of engines and transmissions we would prefer. About 3 months of searching. Searching every day.
Refreshing pages.
Yeah, eventually we found this bus, which is a Bluebird CSRE 34-foot transit bus, including the bumpers, which are very big. Without the bumpers, it's kind of like a 32-foot body. It was used to transport college kids around San Jose State University.
One thing that was great about that too was it had lived its entire life out west in a very dry climate, and so the engine, just looked so clean and rust-free.
And so it was worth flying out to New Mexico to go pick it up in December last year.
During some snow.
Yeah. The build was challenging. We also had a ton of help in that most of the build was completed by our good friend Justin. It took us about pretty much exactly a year. All in all, we're really happy with the outcome.
Yeah, we love it. We love our house.
This is the outside of the bus. We spent a lot of effort on the inside, and we haven't really been too fussed with the outside. We've considered painting it, but honestly, it's starting to grow on us a little bit. But yeah, maybe at some point we'll buff out the San Jose State University. Also, these windows are quite a bit different than what you typically find on school buses. They're just a lot bigger and they slide horizontally. They've been great. Found these storage boxes on Facebook Marketplace. These just give us just a little bit more outdoor storage, kind of like a garage. We have some camping stuff in here, got a surfboard bag. So we do have some side view cameras over here. We've got a couple in the rear too. Underneath here, we've got the gray tank and we've got the mini split condenser behind there. That thing blows a lot of hot air. We started drilling these holes to try and help some of that hot air get out from under the bus. So this is where Justin started to drill 10,000 holes and ran out of steam, but I think he'll finish it soon. And we bought all new tires when we hit the road. They're fresh, like 2 months old. So those are the panels up top. We've got 8 400-watt panels, so 3,200 altogether. Back here, we've got the engine. This is a Cummins 8.3 ISC. We really loved our Honda Element. We weren't ready to get rid of it. We went to Hitch World in St. Pete, Florida, and got this custom hitch installed. It's welded onto basically the bottom of that engine bay frame. We've got 2 rear view cameras. This one just got it pointing down, so I just see the hitch setup, which is really nice because when you just hook it up, you have to make sure that it locks in place. And it's really nice to be able to just watch and make sure that happens when you're taking off. And then the top one kind of looks further back as more like a rear view mirror. So this is where we fill the water. We've got a 100-gallon freshwater tank inside. This is our 50-amp plug-in. We still haven't used that. Behind here is the gray tank. You can see right here, this is where we attach our gray tank hose, and we've got a gate thing that I can just pull from right over here. So we've got another storage box. Luckily, the person who was selling them on Facebook Marketplace had a pair, so we have them symmetric on each side. Oh. Oops. So this side is less fun and more just tools and hoses and wires and junk.
Okay, so as you come up the steps, we have our little shoe cubby down here. When we're not driving, our dashboard is kind of like a catch-all for our sunglasses. We've got hand sanitizer, reusable bags for the grocery store. I have this bird, which we got at a yard sale actually for free, but this felt like the appropriate place for it since we have a Bluebird bus. This hanging basket is where we keep our dog leash and dog bags, and right here is a little storage box where we keep our field guides. I love to cook, so we have a bunch of cookbooks down here, our binoculars, headlamps, and so just a nice place to tuck everything away. This is our kind of like living room area. We really loved the idea of opposing couches. Underneath we have some storage. Of course, in bus life there's storage everywhere. So down here we just have sleeping bags, hammocks. On the other side, this is where Sam keeps most of his tools that he uses on a more regular basis. We also have some random things down there. And this is our little dinette space, which is probably my favorite part of the bus. Above the dinette, we have a light fixture that we actually made ourselves with a inflated and then popped balloon. There's also inside of there parchment paper, an old aluminum can, so everything was kind of repurposed. Even this piece up here is actually a bamboo toothbrush holder. So for us, it was really important to have a dinette, not only because we like sharing meals at a table, but also Sam and I both work remotely. Sam has a space for himself in the back, but I really wanted somewhere comfortable that I could work with my laptop. And so this functions not only as a space where we share meals together and tea in the morning, but also for me to work daily. Sam and I kind of each have a side. This side, I have my art supplies. We keep our Instant Pot down here. There's some board games. On the other side, Sam is an avid tea drinker. He collects lots of different types of teas. And so down here is Sam's tea collection. So this is our refrigerator. We really wanted to do an under-counter fridge. We wanted to push back the first wall as far as we could so that when you are entering the bus, it feels really spacious, and it gained us all of this amazing counter space. Like, this is more counter space than I think I've had in any of my houses. It's the Isotherm Cruise 200. It's 7 cubic feet of space. So this side is the refrigerator. We also have a little freezer on this side. So this has been working out really, really well for us. I love to collect ceramic bowls from thrift stores. So this is my little collection here. We have all of our mugs, glasses. Up here we have our silverware drawer. This lower drawer is where we keep most of our appliances. So we have a Vitamix for smoothies. We have a food processor back here. And then we have all of our pans and strainers and things like that. So we have our drying rack for our dishes. We have our Berkey water filter. Underneath our sink, we have our trash and recycling along with cleaning supplies and things like that. One of the things that I was really excited for was our Furrion electric oven. I love to bake. I love to bake bread specifically, and it was really important to me to have a space where I could bake while we were living on the road. And we've been living off grid for almost 2 months, and we've been able to use it almost every day for things like toast and bread and roasting veggies and things like that. Down here we just have a nice little drawer that's kind of our miscellaneous stuff, batteries, matches. And up here we have all of our bowls and plates. One of the things that I have that we love is these bowls that are great on their own, but they also double as Tupperware. This has been a really nice way for us to have Tupperware without taking up a ton of extra space. Over here we have our induction cooktop. It's a 2-burner. And then underneath here, this is kind of our pantry area. This is the top one. And one of the things that I really like is this little hidden drawer that rolls out, and it has all of our spices. It's like a really satisfying way to see all of them too. And then over here is our nice big cutting board and our tea area where we have all of our little teacups and our tea tray and our magnetic knife rack. I'll let Sam talk a little bit more about this.
So under here is where we have the bulk of the electrical system. We have 8 Lion Energy batteries. They're wired in 24 volt. Altogether, that's about 10 kilowatt hours. Most of our core important electrical appliances are actually DC, so that can run straight from the batteries. We also have a 2400 watt inverter that lets us power all of the AC appliances, like the split and the induction cooktop and the oven. It handles all of our needs really well. The only issue with it is that you can't run everything continuous because it's 2400 watts. So, but that's totally fine for us while we're off the grid, which is something we need to be cognizant about. Up here, because I like to overcomplicate things, we have 24 volt distribution here, running a few of our appliances or lights and things off of 24 volt, and then I also have this running to a 12 volt step down, so I can run some 12 volt appliances like the Max Air fans. Up here too, I just kind of geeked out. I wanted some gauges and switches. So this is our water tank gauge and our gray tank gauge, and this is our battery gauge. As you can see, we have a lot of battery power right now. These switches control our strip lights, so we can flip this down and it's controlled by the remote. Again, because I like to complicate things, you can actually control it without the remote too if you just want to blast it. In case you lose the remote, I figured you can switch it on and off. This switch goes for our Dinette light, and this is a SureCall cell phone signal booster. We're not sure if it really helps yet, but we installed it. Speaking of the Max Air fans, we've got two. We've got this one up front. These are great. You can have them do exhaust or intake, so you can put it on low. Typically you have it somewhere in the middle. You can put it all the way up and it's kind of like beast mode and it's pretty loud. And we have one back here. This one we have going pretty much 24/7. Just creates some airflow so it doesn't get too stuffy back here. And these are our super magic Skoolie doors. This is a dream of Justin's since before we even got the bus. He knew he kind of wanted to do some kind of a cool portal archway doorway with sliding doors, and they came out really well. We got these heavy duty drawer slides that lock in, because as we found out already from forgetting to lock in one time, if these weren't here, these would just be sliding all over the place while we were driving.
And this is our bathroom area. So to start, we have our hooks here. We each have a Turkish towel, which dries really quickly. This is also our laundry bag. When it's not too full, it hangs here. Once it starts to really fill up, it goes in the shower. Up here we have an amazing amount of storage. So on this side we have all of our linens, our washcloths, and then on this side is where we have kind of all of our beauty products. And I mean, honestly, it's mostly my stuff up here. I think it's actually all my stuff up here. So on this side we have our coconut core, which goes into our composting toilet, razors, wet wipes, things like that.
So this is our composting toilet, or separation toilet, from Kildwick. They're a company based out of Germany. Really, it's basically just this separator. You can buy this separator and then just build a plywood box. We happen to get this whole assembly from them. But yeah, basically, there's a poop bucket. There's a bunch of cocoa core in there to keep the poo dry and not smelly. There's a fan here that we just have on all the time. And this is a siphon that came from Kildwick. It kind of serves the purpose of making sure that no gray tank smells come up from your pee line. Plumbed this pee line straight down to the gray tank, so you don't have to deal with removing a pee jug every once in a while.
I love our shower area so much. For the walls, we have this feather finish faux cement, which has been holding up really well. We were a little bit nervous that it was going to crack while we were driving, but it's been great so far. It's really beautiful when it's wet, and then it dries this nice light gray color. And then we have our Nebbia shower head, which is so luxurious. It has all of these different settings, which just make us feel like we are in a spa inside of our bus. Down here we clearly have our dog's food and water bowl. We found this was a great place because it's tucked out of the way, it's not in the aisle, and if she spills a little bit of water, it's just in the shower. And this shower has just been really, really great so far.
Yeah, so this is my office. I'm a software engineer. I kind of need a sizable monitor, so I just have this little space here. I made this chair. I don't even really need a desk. I just need to be able to use the monitor. I added some storage under the chair, so this is actually where I keep the laptop, and I've just got, the HDMI cords running underneath to the TV. This is a split keyboard. It's called the Kyria. You can get them assembled. I actually got mine as a kit and made it myself. It was challenging, but pretty fun. I've got these nice clickety-clackety key switches in here. The box jades. I've got these rotary knobs in here so I can scroll to HBO Max as fast as I want to. This is just the Roku though. Katy told me from the very start she was not going to tolerate wires all over the place. So there's a bunch of kind of wire chases back here to make sure that things stay hidden. I've got just bins and bins of junk and wires. All my wires that I could ever want are just in these bins. Oh God. And we also have art from our friend Annika. At nighttime, flip this around and watch TV in bed.
This is our closet space. It's actually about 4.5 feet wide. And then below our hanging clothes, we have like our jackets and my dresses and shirts and things like that. We have these awesome little bins that fit really well. These are from Hey Designs. This is where we just have things like socks and bathing suits and underwear and stuff. And then Sam and I each have a drawer. So here's my drawer. And then Sam has his drawer down here. Over here is actually where our hot water heater is stored. We also have our Dyson vacuum, which I love so much. We have a dog who sheds a lot, so we use that every day. And then back here is our bedroom space. We have a queen size bed back here. There is about a foot or so of space on either side of the bed. So Sam and I each have a space where we keep things like our books, glasses, things like that. Back here is also where we have our mini split, and this provides both cool and hot air. It's been really great so far. We've experienced in Florida in the winter both really hot nights and really chilly nights so far. We're able to close the sliding doors and keep all of that cold or hot air back here, and it makes it really cozy for sleeping. There's actually a dual track back there that has a set of curtains that just keeps out most of the light, and then the back set I sewed in some of the leftover Havelock wool from our insulation just to add a little extra insulation back there, since so much heat or cold air can come in and out through that glass. We have our reading lights, and they also have a USB plug on the side, so we can each use them to plug in and charge our phones and things like that at night. And so at nighttime, when it's time to close the blinds, we have these roller shades that just pull down like this. Underneath the bed is where we have our dog's crate. She's got her bedding down there. We also have a 100-gallon water tank under here, along with all of the plumbing, a little bit of extra storage down there as well. So you can find us on Instagram at Our Wild Caravan, and thank you guys so much for watching our tour.
Thanks.
If you guys enjoyed this video, you are not going to want to miss the time lapse. It is the next video I'm about to put out, about to show up right here. Click on this, watch that next. You will absolutely enjoy it. You can see me build this bus from the beginning, extremely fast, super entertaining. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and we will see you next time. Peace.